Hands in the chat, hands in the chat. I can't see any hands in the chat. I know we have over 20 participants in this session right now. So I want to know if you're with us. Okay, I can see a hand from Mr. Joseph. All right, so I can see their hands up, and that clarifies that everyone can hear me. So, good morning once again. We'll be having the final session for this series, and today, Bidemi from the technical team will be handling two of our flagship solutions, the Service Desk Plus and the Support Center Plus solution. But before I hand over to Bidemi to run us through this wonderful session, I must say thank you everyone for being a participant for this 3 day series. It is good to have you all on board and willing to learn and have more knowledge based on each of these solutions we've talked about for the past 2 days. But today, Bidemi will be taking us on SDP, a Service Desk Plus, a robot IT service management solution built on ITU-based best practices. It is also designed for internal IT teams to efficiently manage their incidents, your service requests, your changes, and your assets. It also offers automation, smart workflows, and also self-service portals. So the SDP is a very wide solution. It also helps in operational efficiency and also brings end user satisfaction. For the second solution, which is the Support Center Plus, it's a full featured customer support help desk solution for external facing teams, which enables businesses to track and resolve customer tickets, manage SLAs and contracts, provide multi channel support. That's through your email, your phone, or even your portals, and also to help you build a knowledge base for faster resolutions. So it's a solution that is tailored for organization offering client support services. Without much further ado, I'll be handing over to Bidemi, our senior technical persons on the Service Desk Plus solution. Bidemi, please confirm if you are with me on this session.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, Bidemi. Thank you for joining us on this session. So I'll be handing over to Bidemi to take us through the Service Desk Plus and Support Center Plus. Bidemi, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Good morning once again, everybody. My name is Bidemi Akintunde. And this morning I'll be taking us through the ManageEngine Service Desk Plus um, Support Center Plus. So first we'll be starting the session this morning with the ManageEngine Service Desk Plus. I'll be sharing my screen. Please confirm when you can see my screen. Thank you. Okay, so without going back, David has done more of the introductory part of the application. So I will just move on to the basic features of the ManageEngine Service Desk Plus. So for ManageEngine Service Desk Plus, it comes with various options for two types of options for deployment. Then we have the on-premise. So as an organization that wants to have the application sit on their own database, whereby they would have access to information tables and able to play around with some other information, maybe generating of custom reports, additional information they feel like they should be able to get from the application. So the on-premise is available for that. Then the cloud, whereby the OEM or developers manage engine themselves. The application is hosted on their cloud solution. And please note, Maria, we understand the cloud subscription, how it works, but yes, when you're using the cloud environment option for managing Servicedesk Plus, you're only paying for the application, and yes, yeah, you won't be subscribing for a cloud space, but it has to be you have to make sure your annual subscription for the application is up and running, so you can have your full access to the application. So moving on, you have various features on the application. Our solution known as incidents, the problem, the change, the projects, the assets, the vendor, the purchase, the reports, the CMDB, maintenance, and the backend configuration known as admin. So we'll be starting with the incident management. So we understand incident management are very, very, very important feature for every organization, not only IT organizations, because yes, is when every member of, of the organization or members within the organization have the avenue to be able to raise information, to raise concerns, to make inquiries about issues they are facing or needing to get more clarification. So even before this, we understand that majority of us, we have these incidents running in our organization with the use of emails, where people send mails to themselves. And yeah, the emails, yes, is effective, but it cannot be measured because people tend sometimes to miss mails due to workload, and so it cannot be tracked by, that is configuration of SLAs for you to know when it has been resolved, or response has been given to such information. So the Service Desk Plus has come to make it very easy. So we have the workflow to make incident management easy for both the users and engineers that will be resolving the issue. So as a user of Tranter International, for instance, I would want to raise a request for a new mouse, an incident on the new mouse, or either my system is slow. I log onto the application. I raise the incident either via email or self-service portal, which is logging onto the application, and the ESM portal that has to do with different instances. So when this incident is being raised, it comes to the second stage, which is to categorize, prioritize, and assign. So for the categorization part, so when I'm raising for instance, I'm talking about slow system, so I need to categorize it under hardware, laptop, the issue is slow system. So for a user to be able to get his or her information correctly, some automation process has been done while configuring the application. That is the upload of CSIs. So where we have the category, subcategory, and item that speaks to all what like we know that the users of or members of the organization would always want to raise concerns on. So we have them as the hardware who happens to be the category, the subcategory happens to be your laptop, and the item has to be a slow system. So with this in place for the categorization, a user would not make any mistake in raising their tickets. So they already know where to go. So all they just need to do is click on the drop down, search for what they want, select it, search, click, search, click. So it makes it easy for them. Then they have the subject and description where they can either write a little thing about what they are trying to explain on issues they are facing on the above category that has been selected. So prioritize is the priority aspect whereby every item a user is raising a ticket on has its own priority. So we understand, like, so for instance, we have the high, medium, and low. So for somebody that has a slow system, for in the configuration, it can be set as medium, it can be set as high, depending on the SOP of the organization, how this has been designed by either the team and their CAB members. So then the assign. So when the ticket is being raised, the application automatically has the features to assign it to the group that is supposed to resolve that issue and pick a technician to there. So that's why we have the SLA business rule technician to assign and request cycle. That is for, I think. So when all of this when this action has been taken, it has been categorized, prioritized, and assigned to an engineer, then it comes with analysis. So as a technician or an engineer that you, well, okay, if it's something you can remote, you it has the analysis option of you to do a remote desktop, and you get why you have the asset information. Then to communicate your resolution or your response to the requester. So this is for the engineer. You can also reply the requester via the application. So when a ticket is being assigned to you as an engineer, you need not to go to your email to respond to the requester. All you just need to do is open up the ticket. You will see the icon to reply under that ticket, and it creates conversations within that ticket. So even when they respond, the requester is responding to your feedback, that feedback comes directly under your communication box on the application. So it's more or less like you have a copy of your mail tray on the application, which makes the work seamless for you to be able to navigate around and respond to your requesters promptly. Then resolving of incidents. So when an engineer is done resolving such incident, he can respond and document all of this information. So the resolution of the incident comes with the knowledge base and a resolution template. So on the application, when you go to the on the ticket and you're trying to close the ticket, it pops up a resolution template whereby you can populate. Okay. You can populate by documenting issue steps by steps actions that we're taking to resolve such tickets, and it also comes with the knowledge base where you can transfer your resolution templates to, which gives both the requester and a new staff or even existing engineer access to a library format. So it's more or less like your library, creating of library for information storage for future reference or even on audit purposes. Then when all of this is been done, you move to close the incident manually or automated, which is yes, an engineer has the right to close the ticket when he or she is about responding to a ticket that has been raised. Or we can create a rule that says, okay, when a ticket can be put on resolved as status. So after 24 hours or 3 days, when the requester is not responding, which shows the satisfaction of the requester, that ticket should be automatically moved from resolved to closed. So and at point also moving forward to make it more interesting and very interacting, a survey or a user acknowledgement can be sent to the requester to confirm that, okay, this ticket is about to be closed. Please confirm you're satisfied with what has been done, or please confirm your ticket has been closed. So they can always choose their satisfactory level. And at the point of that, a survey, like, yes, can be sent out to them for them to click on to document the particular issues they feel or they want to express. So this survey is always configured also based on the organization template, and it will be sent out according to how they want it to be sent out. So basically, that's all for incident management. I don't. Let me check if there are questions as regards that, or we want to proceed to the next module. All right, moving on. Let's proceed to the problem management. Right. So a problem management module on the application is another space for the IT or the management team to be able to document issues that are being identified within the organization. Yeah, so as an IT firm that we are, like, I started using the instance, an example with Tranter IT. So as an organization that we are, so we want to identify a problem and want to manage it. So yes, we always want to identify a frequent incident. That is when an incident is being logged by maybe benchmark 5 people, we can classify it as a problem. But at the same time, just one incident can be classified as a problem, especially when we have some serious cases like, okay, it's a problem when there is no internet all through. Everybody's having an internet downtime. That's a problem. Um, we have issues with systems outdated and okay. All right, thank you. So outdated systems that needs to be updated either with Windows OS or creating a new system, which is making it at the risk of either being tampered by a third party or yes, or being hacked. That's a problem. So when all of these problems are being identified and it's time for documentation process, ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus comes with a field, a software book, a soft copy of your shelf to document all of these problems. So that's when we have you raising a new problem, which can be in them linked to your incident. Then when you have the options to do a root cause analysis, whereby you document, okay, what was identified as the problem, the symptoms that you see, possible resolutions. That's where we have the permanent fix. So possible resolutions, users affected, services affected, how much the organization have lost due to the problem before it was being identified, what has been saved after it was identified, and possible prevention for making it happen again. That's what we have under the problem management module. Then the permanent fixes, and once a problem is being identified, yes, we need to take an action. So taking an action is raising a change request and moving on to proceed to a project. Once all changes have been approved, then we automatically close this problem and associate it with an incident if there is one. Yeah, because users, as they don't know how to identify the one which is an incident or a problem. But so when a ticket is being raised as an incident, as an engineer, you have the knowledge to differentiate if it is an incident or a problem. So you can always create the problem and you associate such problem to the particular ticket that was raised by the requester as an incident. So once a problem is being identified, um, actions have been taken. Now we need to request for, we need to move ahead to the change management. So the change management is the field whereby after we push for modifications. We request that, okay, we have outdated systems and it is requiring a change so as to enhance productivity and security measures. So we have to raise a change for that purpose. So it's called change request. So note, not all users in the organization have a privilege to raise change. Same thing with problem. So for problem, strictly for the technicians, while for change, yes, at the point of configuration, we can give users, specific users that you feel should have access to raise a change, or you feel have the idea of what, when it's time to raise a change, they can, you can give them such privilege. So this is a workflow of how change request is being arranged. So it comes with raising a new change. So this change also can be added with an incident. So the good thing about Servicedesk Plus is every module can be interacts with each other. So you can link your change to your request to your incident to your problem. So now we are seeing that we started with raising an incident. So when the incident was raised, it was identified as a problem. So from the problem, after being identified as a problem and action needed to be taken, we come back to we proceeded and moved to change. So when the change is being raised, it's been submitted. So the change comes with a workflow that can be used to arrange its approvals, the approval levels. So we have submitting of the work of the change request. When you submit your change request, goes to the next place, which is planning. And the planning comes with some other sub processes like the impact. So these are the documents that should be submitted. Most of majority of the time, we understand that most of these processes, like impact analysis, a rollout plan, a backup plan, and the checklist, there's always a round table meeting for all of this to be done. So Servicedesk making it easier. All you just need to do is raise your change request. Please confirm which of the slides you're seeing. I'm currently on change management workflow. Hello, David. Which of the slide are you seeing on your screen?
Currently is for the change management workflow.
All right, thank you.
Please, chat, can you confirm if Bidemi's screen is visible? Bidemi, I think you can proceed.
All right, thank you. Okay, so Servicedesk is making it easier for everyone now. So yeah, due to distance and those that are working remotely, you can all you just need to do is raise this change, submit the necessary document. Even at the point of raising your change request as a change owner or as a change requester, you will be seeing all of these things that, okay, when raising the change, these are the informations that you need to populate. So as that when the notification is going out to those that would approve, they don't need to start calling or going back and forth asking for necessary information for some information. All of this information. All right, so you just upload these informations and they have access to it. So when you're raising a change as a change requester, you have the option of uploading documents up to 10 megabytes in size. So either an Excel format, PDF, PowerPoint, and yeah, so they will have access to all of these documents. Then we have the approval stages for the change. So we have the CAB recommendations and the change manager approval. So there are levels of approval. So we have our change advisory board team that will be able to give approvals to every request that is being raised. Okay, change. All right, thank you. Then once all approvals have been met, we can move to the announcements and notifications. So this is where an announcement will be sent out to the users and members of the organization that dear, or please note, whichever the body of the announcement we want to carry, that either a system upgrade will be coming up soon. Kindly make yourself available for the support team so as this to make the project work as planned. Then we move to the implementation process, and from the implementation process, that after the announcement has been. So the way the announcement is being shown on the application or being sent on the application is not being sent to their mailbox. So at the point of login, every user sees a news flash on their screen. So like when watch TVs and you watch listening to news, you see an headline like a news flash that keeps going below your screen. So that is how the announcement will pop up boldly at the top of every user screen when they log on to the application. So then we move to implementation. That is taking action of every the change request that has been approved. And after the success of every implementation, we move to the post implementation and review. So this talks about, okay, at the point of implementation, what problem did we face? What are the challenges? What are the success stories? From this, what is the lesson learned ahead of the next time? And what are the things that needs to be put in place to provide for a quicker action next time and a smoother process for the next implementation that will be coming up. Either it has done more harm than good, or it was actually worth the process. Then you can close the change. So once all of this is being done, then we move to projects. So as a project manager, you also have a space for you on the ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus. So your project modules gives you the opportunity to input and to start a new project. Existing project also can be uploaded using the Microsoft Projects format to upload existing ones. So for new ones that needs to be done. So after, like we were talking about, the change that was raised earlier was for upgrade of systems. Now we are about to carry out this project. So we create the new project. We are under creating new project. We have the types of project we want to create. Yeah, so apologies. So for also the change, the application comes with 3 types of changes, which we feel most of the organization work with, which is generally accepted. We have the general change, we have the normal change, and we have the emergency change. So, and all of these guys have their own different workflows, and these workflows can be modified according to what the organization have in existing already. So the same thing goes for the project. So the project management module, we have you creating new projects. When a project manager is creating their project, there are some fields, there are some parameters, there are some tools they need to make sure their documentation is valid, is standard, and it is self-explanatory, and accommodates every information that makes a project resource, or makes their defense whenever they are presenting worthy and insightful. So we have the which is creating of milestones and tasks, where you can assign tasks to users, creating of milestones to see how far you've gone on a particular project, add and managing of resources. So when a project is being, we all know that when a project is carried out, we need some resources. A majority of the part of the resource is the human resource, that is the engineers that will be working on that project. So you can add them, so they can be the project owner, they can be the project manager, they can be the project admin, they can even be an ad hoc person whereby they need to work back and come back to update their task on the application. So that's where you need to add and manage your resources. Then you can track the progress using a Gantt chart on the application. So I mentioned earlier, so we all know that Gantt chart is a feature for the Microsoft project application. So the application also supports that. So a project manager can track the progress, knowing how well every resource has gone far on their project. Then a file workload where documents are being uploaded and kept as a soft copy for reference purposes, and at the success of the project, you can close. I'm trying to check if you have any questions so far before we proceed to the next module. All right, thank you. All right, so we have service request management. So for managing service exploits, we have two types of requests. We have the service and incidents. So incidents are, like I said earlier, happens to be a regular incidents that issues that just require a quick fix. Then why our service request model happen to be requests that requires approvals before any action can be taken. So creation of a new staff, changing of password, these are service requests. Decommissioning of servers, geofencing of members, these are requests that requires approvals from either reporting officer or requests for laptops. All of these are service requests, and the application allows up to so this is a workflow for the service request management on ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus. First, we create a catalog for the service, which is either an hardware, ID on administrative, ID on HR category, ID for softwares, ID for hardwares, ID peripherals, or then we configure their service items. So the service item speaks to the like I said earlier, multi-stage approvals and applying of SLAs to all of these categories or services that have been generated or configured. Then we have publish in of self that being able to log on and raise all of these service requests by themselves. So that is where we have this why we have this arrow here. So when you a self-service portal is available for them, as a user being able to log in either using the Zoho account or logging in with their single sign-on process, which is their Windows credential. Then they choose a service request, send in for approval. So when an approval, any request that requires an approval and the approval is not granted, and an SLA cannot be applied to such request one, and it cannot be assigned to any engineer to treat. So when the approval is being accepted and the SLA is being applied, it triggers the task, meaning SLA start counting, it being assigned to an engineer, and they can deliver the services for the end users to have their communication process of where the level of their request is currently standing. So for both service requests for an incident and change, like we've all said earlier, there is a feature on the application called notification under the configuration page. So informations are being sent out. So as a requester, when you request, a notification will be sent to you that, okay, your ticket has been created with ticket ID. The status of your ticket is open. It is currently being assigned to an engineer. Your request approval was declined, was approved, requesting for more information. Okay, so after this presentation, I will just run us through a demo on how all of this works so we can have a visual understanding of what we are trying to talk about here also. Then we have the knowledge management. So if we can recollect while I was talking about closing of incident tickets earlier, we have knowledge base or resolution templates. So this the solution module is also a standalone feature on its own where we document issues, solutions, or important articles that we feel people should have access to. There are some information we might want to send via email, but due to workloads and several mails that users receive, they might not be able to get hold of such information. So the ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus has come to make information easy for people to have access to with a knowledge, or the application is known as solution. So important articles can be documented there. You can create a new solution. You can organize them under topics. You submit them for approvals and publish them for self-service portal. So under the publish part, we can also restrict those that should have access to that information. So if that information is only for those in HR, so yes, all we just do is when we are publishing, it should go to the specific group called human resources. So those are the only people in that group. Those are the people in the group that would have a full access to that information. And if it is a general one that everybody should have access to, yes, then you can just leave it by adding everyone that in the organization in just one click. That is all users. So for the approval part, so when you're creating a solution as an engineer, trying to document solutions. So what the application is doing for me now is after I've generated this, I've created the solution, before it can be sent out to public, it requires the approval of a senior person. So as the person can proofread and confirm that this solution I'm trying to push out is actually correct, it would serve the purpose. And if there's need to add to it or you feel like it's too detailed, you need to break down the information and modify it. Yeah, so that is the essence of the approval before it is being published to self-service portal for everybody in the organization to have access to it. Yeah, so we have the assets module, the assets management. All right, so for our managing service desk plus, our asset management manages both your IT and non-IT assets. So for IT assets, we all know that IT assets are known to be um, assets that are IP enabled, like your workstations, your printer, a scanner, scanners, routers, switches. While non-IT assets happen to be our televisions, the water dispensers, the tables, to mention it. So all of these assets can be captured on ManageEngine Service Plus. So for the ManageEngine Service Plus to capture all your IP enabled assets, we go through a particular process called the use of scanning for the cloud, while and on-premise. While for cloud, we make use of the probe, where the organization provides us with the probe server, we install the probe, and the probe is happens to be the intermediary of the communication tool between the application and your domain controller, where all your assets are being stored. While for the on-premise, we make use of the integration with ManageEngine Endpoint Central and installation of agents with GPUs on across all workstations. So we have the workflow for the asset management from purchase of the new asset to scanning it. So when we're scanning our asset, we make use of the network scan, the Windows domain scan, and distributed asset scan. Then we have the barcode scanning. So the barcode scanning is majorly advised for the non-IP enabled assets like the tables. So that on the application, we can generate a barcode with suffix and prefix of how we want the naming convention to look like. And we tag all of these non-IP enabled assets like the tables, dispensers, the air conditioning, equipment, chairs. So while the network scan is for IP enabled to assets like our workstations, which is always done periodically. So you can build the asset inventory, then you map assets to users. So when mapping assets to users, first we've been able to import users from your Active Directory, yes, and yes, the workstations we are also pulling out is coming from your domain controller, which is being owned by the same organization. So at the point of logging in for every last year, so the way we can map asset to users is the asset of user. So at the point of scanning, maybe tomorrow, and we've had somebody logged on that particular workstation for on that particular laptop or desktop. So the next scan would pick the user the laptop is being assigned to. And this scan can be done manually and it can be done automatically by you scheduling it at when you want it to be scanned. So we have the SCM, which is licensing, metering, and service pack. So we can also take the application also can take inventory of license that the organization bought, their service packs, to check on the models, versions, and expiration processes. Then we build our configuration item relationships. That's with the use of CMDB. Then the asset also support other ITIL processes like the incident. So that is when a user is logging in to raise a ticket, asset that is assigned to the user automatically displays on the user's template when raising that ticket. So we can know the source of where the ticket is coming from. The same thing with the project and change management. So moving on, so we have the best practice as asset management with Servicedesk Plus. So it helps you to gain control over all your hardware and software inventory, like we said earlier. It helps you to track your assets across their life cycle from requisition to requirements alongside with the ownership. So you can know whom a system is being assigned to, who used it last, history of what has been changed or replaced on the workstation or on the assets, and mapping the relationship between assets and business services, which is the CMDB, the CI types, the relationships, and the business views. Hold on, please. And so all of these features are very, very interesting. But if there is no way to be accountable or to give accounts on how these things have been effective, then the solution is of no good to the organization. So that's why we have a reporting module on the application. So on the application, we have close to 150 predefined report templates designed already. So which would speak to everything you might want to, any report you would want to generate. Then it is also customizable. You can create your own type of report. Then if what you are trying to generate, or yes, you cannot find it, we can also work together to run a query report by generating a script for you. All you need to do is tell us what you're trying to achieve. We run it as a first level person, and if there's need for us to work with the developer to get you that script available, then we go thus far also to get a query script for you, and it comes out as desired. Then you can configure and modify the report to choose the type of report, select the module you are trying to report, generate a report form, and your filter options, and select the summary and the output type. So for report also, it can be scheduled. So one does not need to always go manually to create a report. So you can create the report, schedule it to always go out, send to be generated at a given time, and you add recipients, that is those that should receive the report after at the point of the scheduled period. Then the report can be generated in the three formats in emails, as an HTML format, in the CSV, and a PDF format. Then it also comes with a customized dashboard, which will be shown to everyone later on the demo session. So the dashboard is just a quick view of what is happening on the application. So it happens to be like a live chat, yes. So because the dashboard is being updated by itself automatically, depending on activities that are being carried out on the application on daily basis. So these are our supported databases and browsers for the on-premise versions. Then integration of Servicedesk Plus. Yes, we can integrate Servicedesk Plus with all other ManageEngine solutions like we have here, the Analytics Plus, the Analytic itself, the Password Manager Pro, the Self-Service, Endpoint Central, the Operation Management document, and the Windows Active Directory Management. And we also have some third-party that are open to integration. Yes, our application with Microsoft, the integration is smooth. If you have another third party you would want to integrate the application with, yes, we can provide you with an API reset documentation that would help you to get your information integrated properly. And if need be for the team to be on a call with the other third-party developers also, that is also available. So we all come to a conclusion on how the integration needs to be done, what can be achieved, and users, which are the standard, the professional, and the enterprise. Thank you very much for your time and patience. So before we move on to the demo, I don't know if there are questions as regards the presentation slide, and if David would want to say anything before we proceed to running the demo for Servicedesk Plus. Thank you.
All right, BDB, kindly launch to the demo page.
All right, so this is a landing page for the ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus. So as you can see, saying welcome to ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus support desk. So for every organization, this particular option is interface is customizable. So we have your organization name, and what we have here is known as instances and also ESM directory, enterprise service management. So whereby every department, if you want to give absolute privacy for the number of groups you have, this is how it's been done. So as you can see, we have the help desk, the HR, the facility, the travel, and housekeeping. So as an help desk person, you would have access to just this person called IT help desk as a requester to raise your ticket. So for issues pertaining help desk. So I'll be using the IT help desk to run us through a screen demo. So this is what we have on the home page, showing you backup scheduling. Then we have these are our regular advert, or just telling us of other ManageEngine solutions for you to, in case you want to have a trial idea of what they look like. So the dashboard, so now we're starting from the last, which is the report we did earlier, talking about dashboards. So we have our dashboard here. So this is what the dashboard looks like for So note, dashboard is only available for engineers or technicians, as we call them on the application, we call them technicians. So it gives you different widgets. So for objects, which is either the request, yes, which is request and service. Yeah, for your the problem and change, the asset and projects. So this is what it looks like. A widget, they are all in widgets. So we can create a new dashboard and widgets at the same time. So if we want to create our own widget, we just need to create, select what we want to create the widget for, custom the if it's a graph widget, a table widget, you can choose the module, external widgets. So when people see this widget, they can just click on the URL and it redirects them to the particular site you want them to visit. So for what we have here, all these guys are created under graph widget and table widgets. So the widget name, select the module we want to create the widget for, use request, the description. Want it public, yes. So when we want to filter, what do we want to get an information on as a quick met, and we save. Here we go. We have this is how all of these widgets were created. So we move to requests. So for technicians, you'll be able to see things like this on your dashboard. So it shows you requests, the summary of your requests that have been assigned to you. So the same thing for requesters, it shows you list of all requests that you've raised and the status, whether it's in progress, it has been attended to, or it is still open, or it has been flagged. So to create a new request, all we need to do is we select on the new page, and this template comes up. So if you have different templates, yes, we can select. For instance, we want to raise for mail fetching. This is what we have. So note, this template is customizable. If there are informations we don't want the requesters to see, like them setting impact, priority, urgency, because no requester would have the right idea, will have the idea of how to map the correct priority to a particular ticket. So all of these things are being done back-end in configuration that because they've been supplied by the organization that, okay, when you're using for mail fetching, priority should be high, the urgency should be it should be is affecting departments or affecting users. So all of these things would be mapped automatically already. So when the requester is raising the ticket for mail fetching, speaking antivirus for database, for instance, Oracle, service part. So once they raise their tickets, these particular boxes, priority, urgency, impact, if they have them, would definitely be populated at the point of adding the request. So we can see if I want to associate this request I just raised to a particular change, to a problem, or to a project, all I just need to do is come to the right side and do what I need to do. So we have, this is the resolution template that can be moved to solutions. So this is the solution for the ticket I just raised. That's what we were seeing in the demo, in the presentation slide earlier. Then we have the time analysis that shows how much time has been spent on this ticket. The SLA that triggered, business rule that was assigned, and external actions. So now if I now go back to requests, I would see my request hanging there, showing me that I just raised the ticket, and it gives me all that information here. I need to know it was assigned to the SLA, the request type, and the request ID. So before we okay. Go to the program module. So as explained earlier during the presentation, this is a typical sample of a problem that has been created already. See what we have here, the details. See the analysis. The analysis comes with the impact of this problem, the root cause, the symptoms, and we have solution. So if this task needs to be assigned to you, can create a new task, check the workloads, and if it is associated to any incident, let's say, it's not associated to request. So if you want it to be associated, we can just say it's associated to a change. So if I want to associate it to an incident, all I just need to do is I've associated this change to an incident. So if I open this ticket, it takes us directly to that request, and we'll see what we have there. So we can create for on the application to show what we're trying to, since it has just been identified, these are the fields that are to be populated. So if there are some fields we want to make mandatory, yes, we can customize, we can modify such fields and make them mandatory. If there are fields we want to take out from here so as not to make the application too cumbersome for users, of course, yes, you can do that also. If you want to add more fields to it, it is also available. So that's for the problem management module template. All right, Toba, please, you can type me your question. Okay, while we are with Olorun Thomas question, let's proceed to change. Okay. David, Mr. Henry is asking for audio.
Hello, Bidemi.
Huh? Can you see my screen? It's requesting audio. Olorun Thomas is requesting audio.
Do you mean the audio presentation for this session?
Yes, we're going to share with you. We'll share with you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so change.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, you can hear you now.
Yeah, I've been raising my hand since you had on that request tab. I've been wanting to ask my question. Sorry that I'm drawing you back. On that request option, like when the end users want to send their IT requests, do they need to, is there like an application that they need to have on their system, or how does it work?
A URL is provided for them to
Log
log
on their
in.
request.
Log on for this.
So is it possible that the end user send their request via email instead of going through the URL, like they log it to like an email address attached to
Yes,
the
it's
IT?
possible to raise your ticket via email.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to confirm that because I didn't hear it.
So, while I was in the presentation, I made mention of now that when I said you can raise your ticket email
Okay.
ESM yes, I made mention of that in the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we have change. So, earlier I was talking about the types of change that the application comes with as an input. You have the emergency, normal, and major change. So that is what we have here as demos. So we can create a new change if need be for a new one. So for a change requester, so yes, I can pick a name, select the type of change. So now it depends on, so if I'm using the workflow, if I'm using this template, every template has their own different workflow attached to them or types to them. So when I choose a template, it automatically switches to the workflow that should work for it. So as to make your approval right. So these are the fields that we have for raising of change. Sorry. The services affected, the setup involved, the schedule start with the end, the manager. So we can also work on this field if you feel like there are some that needs to be taken out. So the way it works is it automatically picks if for incident also, like you said earlier, the name for who is raising that request is automatically on the requester name because you are logged on to the application using your username and password. So it picks that name directly as the requester. So, but for technician, he wouldn't do that because yes, technician have the access to raise tickets on behalf of somebody that does not have the privilege. Either it does not have a system to raise that ticket, or there's no one, maybe or the request was forwarding via telephone. So the engineer would need to please, hello.
You have plenty work to do. I don't know. It's not a
So that's for the change. And so let me show us how a workflow looks like. Oh, and so sorry, I'm trying to get this workflow up so I can show the sample. Let me see if I have one downloaded on my system. Alright, great. This is what a workflow looks like from the submission to the planning to the implementation to the UAT release, review, close, and end. So these are the approval status. What about other solutions? So it requires approval from submission or a notification from submission to planning. You just configure this approval stages right beside it. Just do that beside it. So, yeah, and so on and so forth. That's how the workflow for change is being designed. So moving on to projects. So creating of a new project.
Like how many Zoom products do you know about?
Yeah, sometimes we only have templates. So those templates are easy to customize. But let me just use the general template that we have, the title of our project, the project description, put in the project code, status, the project owner. So this is for the project admin.
One more question. How do you do it?
Project admin to fill, which is also the project manager for every organization. So once all of this is being populated, then we have something like this.
When are you doing elections?
The details of the project.
Or they're not interested at all. Or you send out a code to them.
The milestones
All of a sudden,
that shows the task progress, when it's been projected or when it's supposed to end, the owner of the project, the priority, the status and title of it, and every task under this project. So +1 on the application is every feature, every icon, every action you are supposed to take are direct. You know where to go to, and they are self-explanatory. It is used, managing Servicedesk Plus is user-friendly.
That's okay. I don't know. Oh, yes.
The timesheets and members. So these are pictorial representation of what has been explained earlier in our presentation slide. So managing and adding of resource. Then we have the members, so the Gantt view, which you can also export out. Then the resource management. This project is associated to almost 10 requests. Once the can try them on test machines. So majorly for every project we have them done twice. The first one is we run them on test server before we now migrate to the production. So the test service is just for us to run our configurations, make sure all we want to do as try and error is being done on that test environment and make sure it is successful. Then after that, we move to the production. That's where we have release. So the release module also comes with a workflow for you to document your release processes. You have the submission. Since same as we have for change, but some of these stages are different. So you can see for release, we have the submission, we have the planning, the development, the testing, the UAT, the deployment of the test that was done, training of users on it, then we review and closure. So moving on, we have the solution module. Yes. So the solution module, like I was explaining during the presentation, can be categorized via topics. Yeah, we have it here. We have general, we have the hardware, we have the network as a topic, software as a topic, and subtopic. So if I open this okay now, you can't see this solution that was documented. TRM crashes after adding a record. And that's the title. So if there's any comments you want to add to it. So we'll look at those things we talked about earlier. It needed to be approved before it could be published. And even after the approval, it will be still on the private process. So to move data from one installation from another, it's public. So everything requires approval. So the one that is not approved, you can see the solution that was rejected because it was not of use. So that is the function of the solution. It's more or less like your shelf or your library where you have all the documents in place.
It's not televisions.
We have assets.
The thing I'm even looking at issue with television expectation.
So
Depends on the inputs. The first is very, very.
this is the assets. We have all assets. We have the software. So for all assets, we have assets. like the IT, non-IT, like I said earlier. So that's the IT asset, that's where we have the workstation, computers, the access point, the firewalls, the IP phones, mobile phones, the printers, router switches. Then why your non-IT is the extension box, the projectors, the scanners and switch ports that we can use that can be scanned with the use of barcodes that are generated from the application and to be pasted on all of these non-IT assets. So let me open one of these workstations so you can see the information that have been captured from the domain controller. So we have the assets details, picking the IT, the IP, the product, which is Windows 11, the assets state, the assets supposed to be returned, showing the username of the person that last logged on to the station. If it so definitely it is a loanable asset. That's why it's saying to be returned. So if the expiry date and purchase order number is available, hardware is just the network adapter, and let's see the relationship showing the CIs. So the workstation is assigned to this person. It's connected to all of these services, but no component attached yet. So this, because it is a demo site, there are limits to how far I can go on exploring or showing you a very vivid, detailed information about it. So now you can see the relationship. So this workstation, here you can see I can remote to it. So if I want to restart to shape is active, just need to click on scan now. So I can even do a quick scan on one workstation. So if it's just one, you want to do a scan on that to check its availability, whether it's still or the system is not aligned at the moment. I'll make a quick scan for it. So we have software, the scan software. So apart from workstations, our asset also can help you take control of your software, like inventories of all of this software. So how does it pick them? It pick them on every workstation they are being installed on. So if we scan like 20 assets in our workstations now, it can pick which one Skype has been installed on, and you just put the installation number here. And number that is even if it's licensed software that is bought also, and scan them and show you the available number, the one that has been assigned and the ones that are left, the manufacturer of such, and the type of the software. Same thing helps you to manage licensing also. Then move on to the CMDB configuration management database. So yes, our CMDB shows you relationship between assets. So when an asset is being scanned, it shows the CMDB function is to show what and what the asset is attached or attached to. So yes, automatically we know it is to a user. So if it is dependent on a server, on another workstation, another. So that is the work of our CMDB. So let's see if we have anything on the application server. So we have this guy on the application server. So we see the associations. Let's check the relationship. We can add the relationship to it. So when I show you the tree view, this is what we get. So we can add more relationship. We can view the CI details, configuration again. So that's that on CMDB. So we progress and move on to last part, which is the reports, according to the document that we have shared with you, that we presented to the audience earlier this morning. So this is, I told you we have up to 150 pounds or sample template already. So these are the kind one or under categories. You have for release, summary reports. We have for completed release, pending release. So if we were to use for any of them, reports by all requests. So we can generate a report based on category. Based on category. So if this does not work for us and we need more information, all we need to do is create our own reports. How do we create our own report? Just new report, custom reports. So if it's a tabular report, a matrix, a summary report, audit, CI, user history report, or request metrics. So we'll just go with the tabular report. Under the tabular reports, we're able to now choose the tables we are column we want to generate reports from. Then we filter the options. Comes with either any of these, the time it was assigned, created time. We are using created time, so we can choose this for today. We have some quick time zone here, or we just go from. So that's a custom report from this day to this day. So you can try an advanced featuring to make it more specific. Is it from the category? Is it from asset name? So you select your column. And if we are looking for charts, so So we've not added any. Oh, okay. Let me just add a few. So these are the types of. Let me bring it closer. Bar chart, stack. These are the pictorial formats that we have on the application for display of reports. So if it's a query report you want to run, just click on query. We paste our query script here, the script that was given to us, and we get our reports here under the logs, and we're able to export it out in CSV or PDF format also. So that will be all for the demo on managing Servicedesk Plus. So before we see to the next solution, do you have any question from the audience? All right, in absence of no question, um,
Hi, Bidemi. I think we can those questions that could be asked or on how to scope with the client. So I don't know if you can just pull up the questionnaire. I sent it to you. There is on Servicedesk Plus. Hey, Bidemi, are you here?
yes, I can hear you now, sir.
Okay, can you just put up the questionnaire so that
All
we
right.
can? Yeah. Okay, so this is more like a scoping sheet that you can use to um, get the customer request. So most times customer might not know what to ask if they want to get this solution, the Servicedesk Plus, right? And and maybe you don't really have much idea of how this is being also licensed. You can just refer to the questionnaire, right? If you check, there are some questions that will be asked. Once you can share this with your client, um, you don't need to stress yourself much. Whatever thing they feel here, we'll just use that to get a quota out for you, right? So I'll just go through some of the questions First, the service desk clause is licensed based on the number of technicians and the number of nodes. Nodes in that context means asset, your endpoint, your scanner, your switches, and the rest. And so, we have two versions of the solution. We have the cloud and the on-prem. So there are some questions that speaks to that here. Please specify whether you require Service Desk Plus to be hosted on cloud or we preferring on-prem. So the client is to indicate if it is cloud or on-prem. So the cost of cloud is quite different from the price for on-prem solution. So that's why it's required that the client indicate which version they intend to go for. And we also have the three versions, as he rightly mentioned earlier. We have the standard edition, we have the enterprise edition, and the professional edition. So the client can also indicate which edition they intend to go for, right? And those are the things that is needed. But the client there are some questions that speaks to failover service, right? If the client needs a failover service, right, they can also indicate the cost to that. And we have the ESM license, right? The Enterprise Service Management license. So if the client wants different instances, right? Different instance. I don't know if Abid speaks to this in the presentation. So we have cases where the HR department, the procurement department, and other department want to have their own instances, right? So if the client wants to have this kind of instances in their environment, they can also indicate here. We have the case where you have to indicate if can you scroll up a little bit? Can you scroll up? Yeah. Just go up a little bit. Yeah. So you can see we have different instances. You can indicate, the client can indicate what in the instances they intend to go with, right? If you want to have different instances for your HR department, procurement department, and the rest lies, you can just indicate that. But virtually, the service desk plus is licensed based on the number of technicians and the number of client nodes, and is also it could be virtual, it could be cloud version or on-prem, and the client can also indicate the edition, standard edition, professional edition, or enterprise edition. Those are the basic things that could be asked if you want to scope for your client. This, if you ask questions, you can also indicate on the chatbot. Thank you. So it's Abidemi, you can just proceed to support Center Plus.
All right, sir. Please confirm you can also see my screen also now. So, well, thank you, man. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Here is the second part of our presentation, which is the ManageEngine Support Center Plus product overview. So, like David has said earlier, so we have service decks that we advise for majorly internal users. Why for support center plus? Yeah, so organizations that are like manufacturing companies, um, production, yes, that work with external customers that are supply to maybe wholesalers, retailers, and others. So our support center plus is a way to go for a swift business transaction. Madam Yvonne. Yes, please. So so popular web-based customer help desk software that helps customers to track tickets. It helps them to track. We also help to track customers' information, their product, and their contract. It also helps deploy a customer's portal for the customer. So these are the basic which let me hide this. So so benefit of this, you have the advanced email response management, the tickets life cycle management, the account contract management. Also comes with the knowledge base, the customer portal, product tracking, contract management, time tracking, and also reports and dashboards and business units. So starting with the first one, which is the advanced email response. So it automatically converts your customer's email to ticket. So that's majorly what it does. So your customers does not need to worry about logging onto the application to send in inquiries, complaints, an email, and automatically converts it to tickets for them and makes the subject of the email as the title, the body of the email as the description, and extracts attachments from mails and add them as attachments onto the tickets. It automatically routes emails to different departments and groups. It captures all of these email conversations. So majorly it's what it does when it comes to your email management is what we have under the ManageEngine Servicedesk Plus. So it captures your conversation. So when your customer sends those emails, so you have them duplicated, one on the application and one in your mailbox. So you are good to go to respond on the application and conversation still remains there as the mail trail. So this is the lifecycle management. So the customer, this is how they do raise their informations, web portal, if you want them to have the access, the email address when they send mails, phone calls, social media like Twitter, then custom forms with API. So maybe they go to your website, they fill in the form, and you automatically send that form to the website, to the application to raise that ticket. Then it checks workflow rules to see how to assign SLAs to all of these requests that comes in. So from there, when you verify the customer contract, it puts an SLA to it. It checks the account management with third-party apps, the knowledge base, to respond to the customer with the solution. Customer acknowledges all resolutions that have been done. Then you close the request. So in this cycle, we have when you're closing the ticket, you have two things, the billings and the customer feedback survey. So unlike Servicedesk Plus, when you resolve the ticket, the customer gets the acknowledgement mail also and the response. So the same thing happens there also, like when the customer acknowledges your resolutions, that's where the customer feedback survey is. When you are closing the request, It pulls up the billing, the customer's billing format for you to know how to bill customer appropriately. So the multi-channel communication, like we have here where the customer is, we have the portal, the email, the custom API. We have the creating of different form to get to various business scenarios. So we can automate ticket workflow through advanced business rules. So the same business rules, the good thing about all ManageEngine enterprise management is they come with this automation plan of business rules where you create a rule or an instruction that says when this ticket is carrying this particular content, it should be assigned to this particular group. When it is having this particular attachment, this particular SLA should be kept. It should have this particular priority and impact. So that's where the assigning to groups and support reps also comes in, and automatically determine when the due time based on the SLA configuration. So what we have here under 2.1 what we've just stated out in text. So this is a graphical illustration of what we have written out in all these slides, like the viewing of all conversations. I wish there's a way I can always switch so we can see what I'm talking. So don't worry, I'll go through that process. So viewing of all conversation notes, history of all ticket at one place, configurable email and SMS notifications. That's where's my mouse? This is where we are currently. Check workflow rules. Instantly get account and contract information during request tracking process. This is where we have a verifying of customer contracts, going to Microsoft Outlook, account management, and the third-party apps that you might want to use. Yes. So option to insert a canned response knowledge base. Yes. Then closing of ticket and sending out of surveys to customers when the ticket is closed. So see the cycle here. So it practically just explains all these guys we have here, one after the other, so we can have a proper understanding of them in words. So account is the customer company and contacts are its employees. So yes, so yeah, as an organization, you're working with, you are supplying a particular organization, they will be your contact. Your resource persons, they can be more than one. So you all, so those would be your contacts, and you'll be able to input their information from the first name to the phone number to the email to the address that they need to be communicated through. So we can import all of this information with the use of a CSV to get started quickly, automatically creating accounts and contact as new request comes in also. So some people can just randomly come across your website while they are surfing the internet and they send an email. So it automatically creates that account using the name and signatures that the application was able to pick from the sender. Then you can modify after a proper conversation has been created between you and the requester. 1 moment. So the knowledge-based management, so it helps you to recall troubleshooting guides, like we have it for Servicedesk. So the good thing about our knowledge base is, sometimes members of the organization happen to might want to quit, and some people have the time or luxury to do knowledge transfer to a new hire, and sometimes at the point of resignation, so the person would leave, you might not get a new, you might not get a replacement. So after a long period of time and you've gotten your replacement, all the person needs to do to help their onboarding process swift is to just try to go through the knowledge base module. This gives them a speed on how to get familiar with the job role, and reduces the stress of getting being supervised. So it gives them the opportunity to learn on the job also. Then it helps you to categorize under tree-based hierarchical topics, like I showed you earlier on Servicedesk. Option to expose those solutions to customers. So, for instance, you are supplying. Let me see. Okay, you're supplying laptops to companies, and you are trying to. So they've been having, for instance, now we now run on Windows 11, and your workstation, all these laptops they're supplying are on Windows 11, and customers have been, your contacts are having complaints from those they give these laptops to, that they have issues on how to set up Windows 11 systems. So you have this knowledge base option to do a guide through on how Windows 11 system is being set up in in text format. If it's for you to attach documents, yes, that is also available. Then, so when you now expose this solution to those customers, they have it available at hand. So nobody, that reduces the stress of reaching out to to you on daily basis. All they just do is go through this document and share, look at the concerns customers they are supplying are having issues with, and they'll be able to answer the question. That has saved more time and giving them the opportunity to invest that the little time they've been able to save on other activities. Options to enter keywords to be able to search for articles or solution very fast, and get information at the tip of their fingers. So we also have the knowledge base management part, slide 2 of it, which is the option to manage the life cycle of the solution. You can draft it, submit for approvals, and approve or reject. So like I was showing you earlier on Servicedesk Plus, that when you submit these solutions, they need to be proofread to be sure that these are actually worthy of the going out to public, because whatever information you are passing out represents your brand, and it will not be a good call when there are errors in what you are pulling out to the public. Option to quickly search for it using a natural language. So it is easy because we, like, our general language there is English. So it picks all the type of English only, which is you want to use the American English and use the British English to search, and options to add attachments, like I said earlier. So for either PDF, PowerPoint, Excel, maximum of 10 MB without restrictions of text and images. So we have the customer portal. So it is a fully customized data that, so for each customer, we can customize your portal to help you create, track, and add notes via the portal, providing them the instant access to the solutions, troubleshooting guides that have been created for them. So the customization comes with privacy. So if you're working with 10 customers, all of these 10 customers have access just to what they work with, to their own portal rather. They have access to just their own portal. No point of invading into another customer's information. So you have nothing to worry about when we come to privacy of customers. So every customer just have the right to check what they have for themselves only and not intrude into another customer's information. So if you have an existing, if you've been doing your product tracking manually before, yes, we can, the application allows you to import those existing documents. While all you just need to do is export a particular CSI document, CSV document from the solution, and you fill in the proper necessary information, and you put them back by importing it on the application. Can categorize the product by their types, associate them to the account and track the sales information, create a tight mapping to accounts, products, and the contract. Then products purchased by account instead during ticket creation processes. These are the measures we have in tracking of products. So for your contract management, so we see this is really our support center plus gives you like an 100% access to have a proper interaction with your customers. Yes, because you don't have any other thing to get from, because you cannot be reaching out to them every now and then that, please, your name again. What company did you say you're working for? So once they interact with your support center plus, the necessary details from every customer is being fetched, populated, and you can track the customer's contract. You can get alerts through emails, which is the best practice when the contract is nearing expiration. So expiration notification can always pop up starting from how you want it. If you want it to start popping up 90 days before, which is, I think that's 3 months. Yes, let's give or take 3 months. Also, pop-up alerts that are generated during creation of requests and tracking processes to provide contract-related information to help the helpdesk crew. So when the helpdesk team are even trying to work on other things on the side, a pop-up is available or a notification is being configured to put them at alert when a new request comes in. You have your support hours to show operation hours, within operation hours and off-peak period. You can set contract SLAs as within which your ticket has to be responded and resolved. That's what we call which is still under the service level agreement. So you have your resolution time and your response time. We call the time spent for solving each customer's issues, related info like hours taken for a support rep account, contact, rate type, description, build or unbuild issues. So we have the consumed hours for from related contracts. Then you also have the features to view and manage time entries at one place. So at the point of view opening a particular ticket, all of these things are all in one. And if you are trying to do a filter to get a particular information, so you don't have, you want to skip the stress of going one after the other. Yes, you can filter the time entry based on your parameters that are being allowed, and you can export them in the .iif file for QuickBooks format. So for reports and dashboards, we have some reports templates available, close to 50 and above reports templates. Options to create custom reports like we have for the Servicedesk Plus. We have the tabular report and matrix report also. The charting option that comes like maybe in bar chart, by chart. We which are the regular ones. Then the option to export them from as PDF, Excel, CSV, and HTML format. Then scheduling of this report at intervals to be sent via emails to the various recipients, and ability to create query reports that helps you run queries on the database. So also widget and dashboard can be created. So we have some predefined dashboard already. If you want to create a custom dashboard, option to also create a public and private. So when we mean public or private, so there are some dashboard that you want to be restricted to some rows alone, and why you want some that every other people also can see. That's where we have the private and public dashboard display. Option to display this dashboard on large screens. So if you have like maybe a sub team, or maybe you have an help desk office and there's a big screen, you can just send your dashboards to the screen. So this dashboard is also like the Servicedesk dashboard that is it works in real time, because it picks those information going on the application as it is live already. So option to display information across various business units also. So business unit helps partition your data for various organization departments in a way that they can act as an independent. So you can, like I said, then I can have up to 10 guys on 10 contacts on your support center plus, but unknowingly to them, they always think they are the only one on that platform. That is where the privacy for support center plus is very it's a very good feature for it. So you have nothing to worry about. Organization A cannot encroach into what organization B is relating to you. Only you, your helpdesk team, have access to every of these organizations' detail at once. But for your customers, you only have access to see what belongs to them, and that is all. You cannot even share the data from one other department unit to business unit to theirs. So all configuration data are configured for each business unit as and so it is not static. So my business rule for team A can be different for the unit B. So every 10, if you are working with 10 customers, we are creating this configuration data in 10 places, unique, and they are all unique, meaning they represent each business unit they stand for. Multiple teams can work independently with just one installation of yes. So as a team, maybe your updesk team, you have up to 10 of 5 guys in your updesk team, and they can all they need to do is you don't need to start installing support center plus on all of their workstation, just on one server. Give it the privilege to be accessible outside the server. You create their login, username, and password, and everybody have access to login. Same thing for your customers also. So we have the additions for support center, which is the standard, professional, and enterprise. So the comparison and edition is available, which can be shared with you inside them. The licensing, pricing, dependent on the parameters. Then the add-on include the CTI, the Zoom meetings, the ADDL, and business units. So for the financial aspects, when it's time for that, the account officers, certificate and salary would do the proper awareness on that. So do we have any questions? Let me check the last questions in the chat as regards support center plus. While we are waiting to see if we have questions, now let me try logging now to get.
Would there be any questions for PDME to take? All right, I think there are no questions from the chat. Thank you everyone for joining us on this session. I think this is where we draw the curtain to this partners series. So I want to say thank you everyone for attending. Thank you very much, PDME, for the presentation and the demo sessions. Links to the sessions and the PowerPoint slides will be made available at anyone's request. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry, for organizing this session for the resellers. This is where we call it a day. All right, everyone. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend.